100 million in benefits each month. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just getting a pop-up from Zoom. I hope it's not showing. Okay. And so the pension plans we serve, so the college pension plan, the municipal pension plan, the public service pension plan, the teachers pension plan, and the WorkSafe BC pension plan. Okay, so our values. So our core values are take action, seek to understand, build bridges, have courage, and deliver on promises. They were created in consultation with all of our employees, and what we were kind of looking for in development of these values is what does BC Pension Corporation look like on its best day? So that's how we came to these as an entire organization. And then just a little bit about some of the ways we've been acknowledged. So we are a platinum recipient of the award for excellence for Canada and innovation and wellness. And as well as in 2022, we were awarded one of BC's top employers. So a little bit about what we offer. So in terms of benefits, health and retirement. So we offer extended health and dental coverage, pension plan, obviously the public service pension plan, paid vacation, including statutory holidays, and group life insurance. We do have a flexible working model, so that can include, varying start times and finish times, depending on, what is convenient for the employee and kind of meets operational considerations as well. And also a variety of options, so modified work weeks, on-campus work, as well as hybrid. Professional development, so we do offer a significant amount of corporate training, career development support, as well as our invested scholarship program and Lead Now leadership training. We also, all our employees get access to LinkedIn Learning, where they can, log on and take any courses as they see fit related to their career development, as well as anything else that may, have piqued their interest. They have access to that. In terms of well-being benefits, we offer corporate fitness discounts, employee and family assistance program, health and well-being workshops, seasonal events and socials, and then also on-site flu shots during that time of year. Okay. In terms of recognition, a few things that we do. So annual ACE Awards. So that's an annual employee nominated award program, and there's 6 different categories, and those are put on every year, and employees can nominate each other for those, and then they go to a group who's responsible for selecting the winners of those. Staff Day, which is also an annual event where employees come together just to reflect on the past year and celebrate success. We also have guest speakers, and our executive has a Q&A session where employees can ask questions. Of course, individual acknowledgement and then peer-to-peer acknowledgement as well. And in our community, so PECSEF and workplace giving, as well as corporate and volunteer committees that employees can become a part of. So business areas. So we have many different types of branches and divisions. So some areas include finance, information technology, business analysis, data analytics, policy, project management, communications, administration, client service, and people and culture, which is the area that I am a part of. So I'll talk a little bit more about member and employer experience division. So this division provides member-centric and high-quality pension services to over 650,000 active, inactive, and retired BC public sector employees. The division is responsible for coaching and supporting over 1,000 plan employers in the submission of accurate service, salary, and contribution data. So there's a few specific business areas. I won't read all the details about all of them, but I'll just kind of give a quick overview. So member services, so dealing directly with the plan members, plan operations, employer operations, so dealing with the employers that are part of those 5 pension plans, operational performance optimization. It's a bit of a mouthful. So career opportunities. So few of our kind of key jobs that are within the member and employer experience division I'll talk about. So first off being our client service administrator. So this role is responsible for processing service transactions related to the purchase of additional pension service, pension, and termination benefits. Plan accounting clerk. So this role prepares various financial reconciliations. They prepare working papers, and they perform disbursement duties and reconciling and billing. Knowledge coordinator. So this role assists in the effective and efficient processing of pension information. They use their knowledge of the kind of more complex plan rules and pension administration processes in order to, identify processes, workflows, and training gaps. So the client service representative. So this role provides pension admin services through various communication channels to our members and our employers. And they also are doing pension calculations. Our client service benefits specialists. So they're more of a subject matter expert on all of the pension benefits and plan administration. And they also provide client counseling and education on more complex and more sensitive cases related to the pension plans. And just some additional roles. So our workforce analysts, so they analyze historical workflow trends and volumes in terms of forecasting staff schedules in the division. Our quality assurance coach, so they're responsible for planning and delivering the division's quality assurance programs. And our knowledge-based specialists, so they're accountable for creating and maintaining and also the optimization of a user-friendly management library for the division staff. And our client service manager. So it's a key role that they play, and they're really responsible for leading and coaching and supporting the staff to meet their team goals. They do a lot of problem solving and proposing of solutions in order to address any kind of issues within the team that they're supporting. They lead change, they support staff, and they support the business, of course. Okay. So just a little bit why to work with MEE. So that's the shortened version of member, employer, and experience division. So culture of community, career growth, and also transformation. So transformation, the MEE division is a big part of our plan 2030, which is our strategic plan. And it offers, being a part of that division offers a great opportunity to be hands-on in that. And that branch is significantly featured in that plan. And there's a link to our plan on our website if you're curious about that. Education and work experience, operational excellence, and leadership support. So that was a little bit leadership support, talked about that a bit earlier in terms of what we offer as being an employee in the corporation. Okay, so now we have a video. I'm not sure if it will work, but I'm going to give it a shot. Since I can't see anybody, if you could just tell me if you can hear it playing, that would be great. If not, we'll just skip over it and I'll continue with the rest of the presentation.
We can see it, but we can't hear it.
Can't hear it? Okay. Then we'll just skip over it. I can hear it on my end, but it seems like it's not integrating with Zoom very well. So we'll skip over it. Okay. So hiring process. So I'll just kind of do a brief overview of what our hiring process looks like. And then also, I mean, we have Q&A after, and then we also have several resources on our website as well that you can check out afterwards. So the first step would be creating a profile on our corporate website or corporate careers website, where you fill in your information when you see a job that is of interest to you. The job will likely have screening questions. So we'll ask you questions such as, tell me about your experience or tell me about your education. And those are required in order to apply. And it is important that you answer those questions because they are part of the reviewing of the application process. So if they are left unanswered, we're not able to review them and then assess your application. Also, uploading a resume, very important. We do have resume tips and tricks on our website. There's a resource there. So I do recommend checking that out prior to uploading your resume. So that's a good place, a good resource to look through. And then application review. So that's, just making sure that you have all the correct information, correct contact information, there's no spelling errors, everything like that before you submit your application. So once your application is submitted, there will often be a written assessment or online test. And then after that, if you're successful in that, an interview, and then the past work assessment. So often people refer to those as references. So that's, contacting your recent employers if you've been successful in the interview. And then once those are completed, the last step would be the job offer. Okay. And that looks like that is the end of Michelle's presentation. Thank you very much.
Sophie, we were just wondering the link for the video. Would you be able to share that in the chat?
I don't actually have, Michelle did this presentation. I can check with Michelle to see if she has it. I don't personally have it, or Erin, if either of you have it. I'm not sure if you were involved in that at all.
I can ask a CSM to,
okay.
And then maybe in the background while someone's presenting, they'll see if I can get a link to it.
Okay, that would be great. If not, I can see Michelle is off right now, but when she returns, I can see if I can get access to it and just fill it in for the day.
Thank you. And then we can share it with our clients.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, you can put this in the chat. I do have a first question here. Does BC Pension offer part-time work opportunities?
Not typically. Occasionally, I think they have in the past. Recently, I'm not sure, Erin, if in the division. I'm not an expert in the division, so if you could speak to that, that would be great.
So in the MEE department, there is opportunity to become permanent part-time. That's usually the stepping stone for when you do become a CSR. So you do get your part-time, you do your training. It is full-time for a short period of time. And then when positions come up, you have the opportunity to go full-time, or you can stay part-time. A lot of people stay part-time. They work 1 or 2 days a week, or they work shorter hours for 5 days a week. The contact center is very flexible in regards to working around schedules and just very flexible in the variety of work that we provide. And that's the member service, the MEE. So I work in the contact center. So I'm a client service rep, and I would answer phone calls and triage appropriate responses.
So that would be the division that would have that flexibility then, Erin?
Yes, yeah, the contact center, the MEE, the one that Sophie just kind of went over in detail, that's the flexible space.
Okay, thank you. I do have another question here. We're having questions coming in, so I'm just going to start with those. And then maybe we can also, if I could check in with Erin, both Erin's, and see how you got started and just a little bit of your story, and that would be really great. I'm going to go back to our questions here, though. I've got one around, if a person has HR background and it fits with the Clerk 9 position, and maybe Erin has already answered this, is there going to be like a trainee that would be then involved in that process if there's been an offer, and just the process of getting started into that position? Would there be a certain training program and a trainee to help navigate that beginning piece?
Me, Erin, or other Erin?
Oh, or Sophie, whoever would like to start.
I can talk a bit as I was hired in the Clerk 9 position. So I was hired about 15 months ago, so fairly new to the company. And there was a 3-week training process in which we had sort of a classroom style training and in the office, and a lot of information and learning all the systems, and honestly it's an ongoing training throughout, from day to day. I'm constantly learning new things and there's new opportunities to train, but there was a very specific training session when we were hired to get us comfortable using everything. And yeah.
That's excellent. And then it sounds like there's support as you're going through that ongoing support system.
Absolutely. Yeah. In our department, we've got sort of classroom style training, and then we do a lot of peer checking as well. So when we have new people hired, I'm often checking their work, or when I learn something new, we've got other people to sort of make sure we're on the right track. And yeah, very supportive. Yeah,
Excellent.
extremely.
Perfect. Thank you so much for answering that. So we have, what is the best way to send an application? Maybe Sophie would be able to answer that. I'm assuming that goes in with the creation of a profile.
Totally. Yeah. Through our website. We only accept applications through our website. So that is the one and only way. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Another question I have, do clerical positions get promoted to AO positions? I'm really horrible with acronyms. I don't know what an AO position is.
I don't I'm not familiar with what position they're referring to and the career trajectory within MEE. I don't know if either, Erin, if you can speak to that. But there is internal opportunities that people can apply to, not automatically, not without applying to positions. I think that's what's being asked. I'm not 100% sure.
And I think that's really great information too. So there's internal processing, jobs will be seen internally.
Yes, and there's temporary, occasionally call them temporary opportunities or temporary assignments, which are shorter term that sometimes they'll be internal only, that internal employees can apply to, but that's in the entire organization. That's not specific to the division. I'm not sure exactly what the conversion is that they're questioning about, but yeah, I think that.
I think we just got an addition to the AO, so administrative officers.
Okay, administrative officers. So that's a classification series and includes lots of different jobs within that, and that's for all of government. So not 100% sure still, but I think it's just additional opportunities is the question being asked, and yes, there is opportunities to apply within.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does BC Pension hire non-Canadian citizens?
So yes, our permanent opportunities are open to Canadian citizens and permanent residents. We can hire people on work permits or study permits for temporary opportunities. So if you see on the job posting, it says temporary, you're able to apply and be considered for that. And then if you're a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, all opportunities we're able to consider you for. The reasoning behind that is we're not able to extend offers beyond somebody's legal entitlement to work in Canada. So, and typically work permits, they do have an end date. So we're only able to offer positions for however long somebody is able to legally work within Canada.
Okay.
And then if they, get PR citizenship during that time, then we would be able to convert to permanent at that time.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. For entry-level positions, for external positions that do come forward, what would you say those levels of difficulty for applying would be for someone who's external, who's trying to apply into an entry-level position? Is it easy to get in, or is it a little bit more difficult?
that's such a, it's a bit of a subjective question,
Yeah.
but I'll do my best to answer it. I think the most important thing is like making sure that as you're applying and everything, that you're reading all the details about the position and what's required to apply. And then if you are invited to further stages, that you're like checking your email, checking the instructions. The attention to detail is huge during the process, and like following up and all of that. I think that is the key thing. Whether it's hard or easy, it depends. We have lots of opportunities that come up. It's just kind of, if you're interested, you can sign up for job alerts and making sure you're paying attention to positions that are coming up, because one day we might have one position posted, the next there could be 10 on our website. Like, it just really depends. So just, if you are interested, I think the key thing is just, signing up for those alerts, paying attention, and then, checking your email, checking as you go through the process is the key thing.
I love those job alerts.
I hope that answers the question.
I think that was great. So thank you so much. I have more questions here. So what positions do you have coming up right now, if you have awareness of that? And right now there's only one job posting on BC Pension Careers page, or should one apply through the BC Public Service website? That's what I think they're asking.
Yeah, so I'll try and answer both of those. So like I said, it can change day to day. The positions coming up in ME, it's not my area. I'm not 100% sure which positions will coming up, but like I said, just if you are interested, to sign up for job alerts, because it can new positions can be posted very frequently and regularly. So just paying attention to that. And then applying, yes, should apply through our website. Occasionally we will have we will have our jobs linked, like the postings linked through the BC Gov careers page, which I think is what they're referring to. And then, so you'll be able to see them there, but the application will send you to our website.
So just keep checking.
Yes,
Checking in.
Or just sign up for alerts, and then you don't have to, up the website. You'll be notified in your email. It's probably the easiest way.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did have a question about the part-time, and I believe Erin was speaking about that. I do have another question around part-time opportunities for knowledge-based specialists or coordinator roles. Could there be part-time opportunities there as well?
I haven't seen it. I think mostly the only part-time is the client service rep or the client service administrator. Most of the quality assurance, the knowledge base, the coordinators, the CSMs are all full-time.
Oh, Stacey, you're on mute.
Thank you. I'm near to a door, and so I'm every time the door opens and closes, I'm worried it's going to be disruptive. So thank you. Let's see. I think, I would love to hear if Erin Galbraith or Erin Isaacson could share of what you do on a day-to-day basis, a typical day in terms of your position. I think that would be really great. We had one that was kind of a semi question on that, if we could.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a client service administrator. So I'm a bit more behind the scenes versus we're not answering phone calls per se. We are reviewing forms for people who are doing a variety of things, either active members or retired members. I personally work in the active member stream. So my day typically starts as me logging on and sort of catching up on what I would call follow-up work. So perhaps the day before I was reviewing retirement applications, making sure everything's filled out correctly. We want to make sure the members are signing things in the right spots and signatures in a certain amount of dates. So often there's a lot of follow-up associated with that if things aren't done right. So I will communicate with members through our secure message center or over the phone or over mail. So there's quite a bit of back and forth. We also have morning huddles with our teams just to see what's new, any new business things or new procedures or anything that's changed. So that's a daily thing that we do. And then from there, I would move on to my sort of bucket for the day. So every day we've got something sort of new that we're doing in my department. So today my job is reviewing forms for employees who are purchasing service, who've been on maternity leave or some kind of leave of absence. So they'll fill out a form, their employer will send it in. We take the forms from the employers, make sure everything looks good, and we get everything kind of set up in the system. So a lot of using multiple systems, making sure everything looks good, and a bit of communicating back and forth. But a lot of it is just making sure all the files are set up correctly and ready for processing.
Okay, thank you so much. And we do have a question for you. How long have you been working in your current role as client service administrator?
I started with Pension Corp in February of last year, so just over a year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've had some opportunities already within that year. I know Sophie mentioned temporary assignments. There was one posted in the fall for a temporary assignment in our employer operations. So I applied and I got that position, and I was over there working from November up until April, actually. So, and I was kind of back and forth between both roles, but it was really great opportunity. I got to meet a lot of different people, worked on a different floor, and in that side of the business, we're more dealing with the employers versus the members. So it was really cool to see that side of the business and just kind of get a greater understanding of the big picture of what's going on. So I'm back in my original role now, but I think that's one of the things I really love about working here is being able to try out other departments, meet some other people, and see what I want to do. And I think, yeah, this position is an entry-level position, but it's interesting and I really like it, and it's giving me an opportunity to kind of figure out where I want to go next in the corporation.
Well, that's amazing that you can do that, that you had that opportunity to be involved with another team and then to still be able to come back and be where, you know, working again, but have that, like you said, a different perspective.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. It looks like we have another question about client service representatives. Maybe Erin, you can continue answering this, but or anyone. Are client service representatives always hired on a casual or auxiliary? Actually, Erin Galbraith, maybe this is a question you can take on. And if,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just to touch on Erin, the other Erin moving to EO, it was open to our department as well. So we both moved to employer operations. So Erin as a client service administrator, I as a client service rep. So we both got, it's so funny, we both got really great experience working on that side. But in terms of casual and auxiliary, I think I got hired in June 2021. I think I was the last group that was hired as auxiliary part-time. So it was a temporary part-time. And then I started in June, and a permanent part-time position came up in October. So by how many months that was, about 4 months it took for me to get into a permanent part-time. But now most of the client service representatives are permanent part-time that are hired. But I do believe there are certain, if you are auxiliary, there are a certain amount of hours. I'm not sure off the top of my head what it is, but I know for reps, we're mostly hired as permanent part-time. Maybe Sophie
I think
knows
that's
that.
correct. I'm not,
Yeah.
That's my understanding just from Michelle. But I think most of the time they are permanent nowadays. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that was another part of this. The question is, does there have to be a certain number of hours as auxiliary to be eligible to apply for permanent positions?
Yes.
Yeah.
To have in-service status, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's determined by the collective agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank Thank you. Erin, if you told us a little bit of how you got started there, what does your day-to-day look like? Erin Galver.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it depends. Some days I'm on the phones, some days I'm doing file work. Basically, we come together in the morning, and if there's a couple different start times, we have a daily huddle where we just have a little Teams meeting. We go over, you know, production timelines, current events, maybe common issues that we're experiencing, and then you basically make yourself available. You start to take calls. If you're on file work, you start to fill your inbox, and it's essentially asking questions about or answering questions about retirement, people leaving their jobs, beneficiary information. So you just kind of go through your day. You just keep answering calls, you answer your files, you take your breaks. And sometimes if the files are pretty, if the phone lines get busy, you can switch over to, they can ask you to switch over from files to phones. So really just kind of flexible, adhering to the operational needs of the call center. Sometimes we have scripts that we follow when it comes to like email correspondence or my account correspondence. We have certain things that we hit that we're training, that we learn in training. So when we're on the phones, educating people about our My account, that you can register for this and you can access your statements online, and you can find these applications through the plan website. So we just basically interact with our clients all day, with the members. Of course, sometimes you encounter difficult situations, but we have a full team of specialists, support, supervisors, and like our CSMs that are so helpful in helping us, helping guide us in those situations. Yeah, it's fast paced. Some days you see that queue and there's just people waiting for you all day, but it is, yeah, it's a really rewarding thing. You just kind of stay motivated throughout because you never know what that next call is going to be.
Well, and I was just going to say, with that flexibility, I'm sure every day is going to be different. You never know what's going to come, and there's
It's a constant in a way of like, what these interactions could be, but it's always going to be something different. And people are always just so grateful for the help that they most of the time leave you feeling like you're just doing such a great job.
Oh, that's excellent.
Mm,
That's good feelings there. And again,
totally.
sounds like very supportive. The team is there working together, and if there's a complicated interaction, that you have support.
Totally. Absolutely.
Okay, I have more questions. I believe I have one question here regarding software. And just, is there any specialized softwares that is used in a variety of the jobs that might be with BC Pension, and if there's that expectation of knowledge of these softwares before one applies, and maybe then we can maybe support that with Work BC here as well. I don't know if Erin or Aaron.
I can start and then I'll hand it over to Erin and
excellent.
Aaron for like more specific related like pension calculators and stuff like that. I mean, just like generally corporately, the organization, we use Microsoft 365. Probably heard me talk about earlier. I was like, I don't know how to use Zoom because I use Teams, Microsoft Teams. So we did a big transition to M365. I think it was about 2 years ago now, almost. So we use, Outlook, Microsoft Teams, PowerPoint, SharePoint, for all our like collaboration and stuff. And that's been really fantastic resource to have. In terms of the other software more related to pensions, I'll hand it over to Erin and Aaron.
I can talk about when I was hired. I found having the experience with the Microsoft programs was very helpful. I found, just in the interview process and testing, you would need to have some knowledge of Word, Outlook, Excel, that kind of thing. in my past career, I didn't use computers. I grew up using computers, but I'm not an expert. So, but I found it very helpful just in all the training. We were taught how to use all the pension systems. So yeah, I think if you can have that basic understanding of Word, Excel, Outlook, and how to navigate or how to find the answer if you don't know how to, everything else was taught to me on my training.
Same situation. We had extensive training. We had for each program that we use. They're not like commonly used programs, I would say. They're very specific to pension, but the corporation is working hard to streamline our processes. So previously you would start and you're using the old system here and you're using the new system here, and it's kind of we were engaging with multiple systems, multiple resources, multiple areas for different educational things. But one of the main focuses, I would say, in the last year and a half, 2 years, has been really streamlining where we find our information. So it's one system where we find all of the procedures and the policies. It's one system where we have all of our retired members. So one system where we have all of our members. So it's very, it is something that they're working towards, and but it is something that they'll train anybody in.
That's so excellent. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I mean, and we can also definitely assist with any upskilling in regards to the suite of working with computers. So definitely, I would say talk with your case manager if there's something that you really would like to work on or get extra support in, and we can definitely do that. But it's so good to hear too, again, that same message that the training will be there, whatever specific area that you're working in, you'll get that support again. Yes, excellent. I have more questions. And also just, and this was really nice too, there's the thanks to both Erins for sharing your experience, and really appreciate that. It's just so wonderful to hear about, those day-to-day experiences and what really does go on. It's wonderful. So thank you for being here with us again. We have a reframing on the, the entry-level positions and applying into that. Is there I was looking on your website, and there was really great tips on that application, and that it's a fair and equitable process. And maybe Sophie, you can speak to this, is that how is that someone is, that deciding factor of acceptance or rejection for those external positions that one's applying to?
Totally. Yeah. So you'll see on all our job postings the requirements for the job. So it will say, high school diploma, or, various education and various experience levels. So, this is all just hypothetical, but like 2 years working with Microsoft Word, let's say. So those are the things that we'll be looking to see on the resume. And if there is a job questionnaire where you're asked about, your experience, looking to see in there as well. And then that's what we're assessing on. So yeah, we follow merit-based hiring practices. What we ask for is what we're looking for. If it is a must-have, we mean it. It is a must-have. And so that's how we are assessing the applications that are coming in. So I think that summarizes it. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. And just another, maybe then this is a nice lead on to, is the one thing that I noticed on your website is that that all can apply, no matter what background one is coming from, and the diversity and inclusion piece. So just wondering if you could speak to that, about being the type of employer that would be welcoming to many people, and just the accommodations that can be given as well.
Totally. Yeah. In our hiring process, and at any stage, we welcome if anybody has diverse abilities and they need an accommodation, just to let us know, and we're happy to accommodate. We've done it before, and we'll continue to do it, especially with virtual interviews. Teams does have a closed captioning option on it, that we've used. We send out the questions either, 24 hours in advance or at the time of the interview. So if there's any, if hearing is something that isn't an ability that they are able to read the questions as well as, see us visually, but they have that ability there. And that's all cases that we do that with. In terms of assessments, a lot of our assessment now is online through a platform called eSkill that does have accommodation options built into it too. And also as a part of that, it gives people more freedom with timing too. And so it's not like, oh, you only have 2 hours to do this on a Saturday between 10 to 12. They only have, it's 2 hours is the same time limit, but they can go in and do it anytime they want. And it is self-timed, so they're not having to monitor that and submit it through that way. Yeah, takes a step up. Yeah.
Excellent. Is there a typical, this will go along with the hiring process still, so that's an add-on. Is there a typical timeline as to how long the hiring process is from submission to the call for the interview? There's also the piece of, there could be the skills that one needs to what am I trying to say? What you were just speaking of, the testing piece.
Yeah, any written assessments.
The
totally.
assessment. And then offer. Is there an approximate timeline that
it does depend on the position that we're hiring for and how many applications we receive. I would say, like, typically our positions are posted for 2 weeks externally. So every job you'll see the closing date. So that's kind of a good indicator. Like, you won't hear anything before it's closed, because we do review every single application that comes in, and we don't have any automated software. It's people doing it. So we appreciate everybody's patience. Yeah,
appreciate that.
We do try and review them, both HR and the hiring manager, as quickly as possible. And it can depend how many applications we receive. But so that, so you apply, can look at when the posting is closed and expect things after that date, so not before. And then it can depend, like I said, how many applications there are, but a few weeks, I would say, after the posting close, maybe less, I don't know, a couple days to a couple weeks, just depending. And then the assessment, it can, like I said, it depends on the position that we're hiring for and what kind of assessment's being used. And then the interview, same kind of goes for that. From start to finish, it really depends on the position. So I'm hesitant to give timelines because I don't want people to freak out if they haven't heard something within specific amounts of time. And I like I said, I don't support this division, so I'm not as familiar with their specific timelines. And more with my division, I can speak more confidently on how long things usually take for that. But Erin, if you want to jump in, please feel free to.
I know for myself, the hiring process was fairly quick, but I discovered the posting sort of towards the end of it. So I think it was probably about 5 or 6 weeks from when I applied to when my first day, but I think that was very quick considering other people I've spoken to. So I think I just lucked out.
But it sounds like it's a human process, and so that
totally, and
that's so good to know. That really is.
We
have more questions. Oh, this is excellent. Thank you everyone for your questions. I really appreciate it. We have a question that's a little specific around that experience and schooling of using the Microsoft Suite, PowerPoint. Does that count towards selection criteria of having past experience with softwares? And I think that would.
If it's listed on as a requirement for the job, then yes, it does. Yeah.
Then you would want to list that in your resume.
Yeah. And demonstrate, speak about how you used it if it is a requirement. It's not just saying, I've used it. It's when, how, why, what more breadth and depth of explaining that experience is really important.
Specific.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is so great. Everyone is very thankful I think that there's another specific question. Sophie, you might be able to speak to this. What kind of supports, if any, are granted for individuals pursuing their CPA designation?
Oh, CPA. I'm not as familiar. Sorry, I don't support the finance branch. I would be able to speak to that. I mean, there is like if it was a part of your the position that you were in within like the accounting or financial analysis realm in that division, then yeah, you would have a conversation with your supervisor. And like I said, we have the invested scholarship program, which is, you know, in order for people to pursue additional education as related to their position. So that would just be a conversation there at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Potential funds, but
yeah,
it would be very much based on
100%. Yeah.
situation.
And we do have a lot of people who, you know, go back to school or continue education to pursue additional education in the areas that they're working in. Yeah. Again, in people in culture, people go and complete their CPHR and various other advanced certifications, diplomas, etc. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I don't know if this was already answered, but I'm going to put this question forward. They're temporary assignments open to external applicants, similar to what Aaron described, to give prospective applicants the experience of the benefits of work experience and interests. So I think it's, you know, are there temporary positions that are similar that would allow one to see what is going on with BC Pension?
Yeah, we do post for temporary appointments, or they would be, I guess, auxiliary appointments if the person appointed was not in the public service. It's a different, it's just vernacular. Yeah, they're not like job shadowing, like it is a position, a full working position. It's not an internship or anything like that. And they are posted as, they'll say temporary assignment, and they'll have kind of a projected term lengths on the posting. So you'd see that at the very top of the posting in the job details there, it would say if it's, you know, temporary or permanent. And then if it was temporary, how long the projected appointment term would be.
Okay, so it could potentially be in a variety of different departments. It wouldn't just be in like the client services representative.
Yeah, it just depends on business needs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, people go on leaves, and then that creates, you know, parental leaves of those sort, and or people get other opportunities in other parts of the business, then that creates a need. So it's just kind of, depends on that.
Things shift and
always always changing.
And I like it. Excellent. Well, I thank you so much. I've got another great thank you from a participant, and they're just looking forward to putting forward an application with your organization. So I just
was sorry, I was just gonna say, way up there I sent the video that wasn't working. I don't know if you guys
thank you so much, Erin.
I downloaded it off
Save
Info
the day.
Hub. So was anyone able to open it, and did it work for anybody?
If there's anyone that would be able to let us know. Okay, we've got someone who's going to try. I'm going to see as well. I'm going to say that.
Can add one other great thing about working for BC Pensions is the location. I don't know if you guys know where it is, but beautiful, right on the Selkirk Waterway. You can
Sophie's got a front row seat.
Yeah, beautiful walks on your breaks. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's also a very great perk of working in there.
And it looks like the link works.
Yay, well, enjoy the video, you guys.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Sophie. Thank you, Aaron Galbraith and Aaron Isaacson. This was really great.
Thanks so much for having us.
This was really wonderful. And everyone with your questions, you know, it's just got to know a little bit more, and I feel like I want to go back to the website and check it out. This was wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being with us here today. And this was lovely. I hope everyone has a great day. And if you need anything else, please let us know, talk with your case manager. And I would just like to, enjoy the beautiful day outside. Yeah, the go for a walk, get outside, and yeah, I would just like to say, I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you. You
Good luck
too.
to everyone in the applications.
Yes.
We look forward to working with some new faces.
Yes. 100%. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.